Known as one of the jewels of Georgia's coast, Cannons Point provides a spectacular showcase of untouched natural beauty. The peninsula stretches over more than 600 acres, making it the second largest tract of maritime forest on Georgia's coast that is publicly accessible by car. Visitors can easily explore the pristine mature forest, a disappearing ecosystem on the Atlantic coast. Though it has remained relatively untouched since the plantation era, Cannons Point faces an uncertain future if steps are not taken to protect this extraordinary property. The St. Simons Land Trust is working to create a 617-acre quasi-wilderness preserve. Open to the public, the preserve will accommodate passive recreation and low-impact educational and historic interpretive programs. The Land Trust hopes Cannons Point will serve as a model for both short and long-term ecological stewardship.
It's a very comprehensive job that we've been given, and an exciting job, because our job will be to help raise the money with the help of a lot of people, and then to plan for access to the property and the types of activities that can go on, always keeping in mind that we want to preserve the natural beauty of the place and not overuse it, if you will.
Located on the northern end of St. Simons Island, Georgia, Cannons Point is linked to the lower Altamaha River Delta. The Altamaha is recognized as one of the most biologically rich systems and considered by the Nature Conservancy as a global coastal area of high priority.
The Altamaha River system is a conservation priority for the Nature Conservancy and has been since the 1960s. And Cannons Point is an important linkage in this habitat, and it provides the maritime forest and the salt marsh and areas for us to have that provide examples and that are connected. It's an important link in the Altamaha River system and helps to create and play a role in a resilient and healthy coastal system.
In addition to its unique biodiversity, Cannons Point features a world-class complex of archaeological sites. The historic ruins of the Cannons Point Plantation, one of the preeminent plantations on the Georgia coast, are located on the peninsula's northern point. The area also houses a series of ancient Native American archaeological sites.
Cannons Point as a whole represents a big portion of the entire cultural history of St. Simons Island, and in fact the whole Georgia coast. The sites at Cannons Point are a remarkable set of both prehistoric Native American and historic colonial period and plantation period archaeological sites. So it's a complex of sites that have remarkable significance. We also know that we only have recorded a few of the important archaeological sites.
We have an opportunity to put people on an undisturbed piece of property of 617 acres with views out toward the Atlantic Ocean, an uncut maritime forest with a lot of wildlife, a lot of natural scenery that is truly unique.
Building upon various partnerships, the Land Trust helped create several task forces focused on conservation, history, recreation, and education to design the perfect ecological learning model.
The educational group actually is one of 5 that's really looking at the best utilization of the property, and it's a full team effort. It's a cross-cutting work group, and the vision is so spot on. It's really exciting because the focus is the historical preservation, the eco conservation, but then also how do we take this incredible 600 acres that is really unparalleled anywhere and make it available as an educational tool that will impact and really create an ethic of conservation for generations to come.
We want people to experience that land, to experience history education, coastal ecology education, recreational endeavors such as hiking, biking, possibly some camping, and also kayaking. But in the course of doing that, we want that to be a very low impact, almost undiscernible footprint, if you will, so that it maintains the extraordinary habitats that are out there, such as the maritime forest, that the animals are dependent on.
We do have a wealth of resources on our barrier islands, but sometimes those are difficult to get to. And what Cannons Point offers is its proximity to a more developed area, so that persons can come and visit very easily and get out and see the nature that's in their backyard that we're working so hard to protect.
Cannons Point represents a new fundraising model for tough economic times when government does not have money to support conservation through land acquisition. Land trust officials now must look to private individuals and foundations for financial support.
This is a tremendous opportunity for us. For the state of Georgia, it's a huge opportunity. We have so many people come down to St. Simons who would love to be able to walk that land.
Cannon Point is really two things. It's a wonderful piece of coastal property that ought to be preserved, but it's also got some historical significance that I think is important for the people of this area and the people of Georgia to understand how Georgia grew up.
Saving places like Cannons Point takes, it demands the vision of envisioning what sort of future we want to leave to succeeding generations. And I suppose it could be said, well, it's just another 600 acres, what's that? But it's the last intact maritime forest on St. Simons Island. If the last one goes on adjoining islands, on the coast, you could just chip away bit by bit by bit. And pretty soon the place is so transformed that it's unrecognizable in its original form.
If we cannot raise the funds necessary to operate it long term, then that opportunity slips away. And once Cannons Point's gone, it's gone forever.